Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is Engineer Masood Akhtar Kiani, and we have today another technical session number 11. Our subject is precast concrete and the elements. So, we will discuss about the precast concrete, and concrete is a construction product uh, produced by casting concrete in a usable mold or form, which is then cured in a controlled environment, transported to the construction site, and lifted into a tilt up in constant standard concrete, which is poured specified in forms or cured on site. This is as compared to the on site concrete. This one is prepared in the precast yard under the special conditions. It is typically used a constraint components such as panels, beams, columns, stairs, pipes, tunnels, and so on. We will discuss about the advantages and disadvantages of precast elements and design and the application methods and different features. Structural steel frames can provide an alternative for the prefabricated structural components, but precast concrete can be more economical and sometimes more practical. Precast is, as compared to the strength of the precast and the in situ concrete at site, precast is more better than the in situ at site because its curing and all the precautions are considered in a controlled environments under the shade and not at the sites, and apply all the quality measures in order to make the products very sophisticated uh, and very good as compared to the other concretes. Many buildings now include a mixture of both construction techniques, sometimes incorporating structural steelworks in a suitable in situ concrete and the precast concrete elements. Related practice on the designing for the design cast in place concrete, cellular concrete, concrete frame, concrete steel composite structure, connecting plants, design of durable concretes, ground beam, grouting in a civil engineering, precast concrete cladding, rebars, reinforced concrete, slip form, smart concrete, the properties of a concrete used in a structure to protect the construction at site, tilt up construction, and these are the design parameters on which the design is finalized. Application. Reinforced concrete is usually used for the structural system due to the strength, durability, and the affordability. Precast concrete used in the following ways: to make beam, columns, floor, slab, foundation, and the other structural members for buildings. To make the wall or cladding panel for buildings. To make precast elements for the buildings, composite components for infrastructure projects, elements such as bridges, spans, girders, or metro line are often precast in a casting yard. To make the products such as precast water tanks, septic tanks, drainage chambers, railway sleepers, floor beams, boundary walls, and water pipes. As it can be molded in a shape, it can be also used to create one of usual forms such as boards and some other elements. We will discuss about the advantages of the precast. Precast is a good at producing large number of identical elements in a short time. For example, building and scaffolding and house with identical apartments such as use precasting to the produced wall, slabs, beams, and all the apartments, and then lift them into the place and connect them according to the approved method statement. As it is done in a purpose-built precasting yard or factory, it makes construction easier to the following reason. The construction is done in the ground rather than the at height. It can be done inside the climate-controlled structure, eliminating problems of rain, dust, cold, or heat, and some other the weathering effects. Specialized formwork molds for the many many typical elements can be used. Specialized equipment can be used to make, move, and pour the fresh concrete, curing tank in a controlled environment. This means that the quality of the precast component are very high. Since the component can be made before hand concrete can be very quick. In cast in situ, the engineers have to build each set of components after previous set has finished. It does take time to concrete, generally take after 28 days to reach to the full strength. There are some disadvantages we will discuss about. There are a few main disadvantages of precast concrete. Since each piece of made separately, the constructional frame or system is not monolithic to the continuous like the regular concrete construction or joints and etc. The joints between the pieces create structural discontinuity. The force of the building will pass through these joints, so they can have the design to the transfer these forces safely and properly. Note that the precast concrete can be used for the non-structural members also. As the building is made in the discrete components, the joints between the adjacent members to the sealed with the special sealants to make the waterproof. Each precast component is usually large and heavy. This means that the cranes are required to lift in a position. These cranes are required to operate over the entire building volume. Since there will be only a few cranes at site, the times taken by the cranes to pick up the pieces and the shift to the final position become a critical in determining the building schedules. So manufacturing process, the production of precast elements taken place under controlled condition in a enclosed factories. This means that the tolerance can be accurately controlled, waste can be minimized, and that the denser, stronger, and better quality concrete can be produced. Precast concrete is a cast in forms to lift, cure precast form normally made in steel or plywood, where these plywood are usually limited about 20 to 50 casting depending upon the complexity in the form virtual unlimited numbers of casting can be made by precasting usually steel set. Precast element generally incorporated steel reinforcement to the resist loading stress. A common cause of deterioration of concrete structure is corrosion of this reinforcement. It is important that for all the properties designed and embedded in the concrete. During the manufacturing process, admixture can be included into the concrete that can be reduce the air entraining, uh, retarders, and accelerators for faster curing system. The purpose of admixture is to improve the concrete durability in both fresh and the hardened concrete. Color pigments can be added such as iron oxide, red, brown, chrome, or green, cobalt oxide, blue, whatever it is. The installation on site recast component can be high risk, actively involved in the use of heavy plant, cranes, and the personnel working at the heights. Considering should be given, therefore, the safeguarding against the risk and receiving, delivery, moving, and placing whatever it is. Consideration can be given to the method and the sequence assembly of erection. The method of providing temporary support, structural connection, and the joints details. Tolerance, handling, and rigging requirements, site accessibility for delivery and storage. Crane capacity and the working clearance of hosting. Sample measurement of the confirm the accuracy of the critical dimensions. Visual inspection of a concrete finishing for the defects. Location and the condition of lifting insert the hosting. Connecting precast elements components can be connected in a number of ways. They can be bolted together according to the approved method of statement in order to steel connection and embedded in the concrete at the time of casting. That must be done due to great precision. They can be grouted concrete together according to the approved method. In this method, loops of steel reinforcement are left protruding about the precast concrete members. Two members are placed in position and reinforcement in threaded between the loops, fresh concrete, and then produce around the reinforcement in a space left for this purpose. The precast concrete is not consuming too much time as compared to the other conventional concrete, and precast concrete can be lifted after 7 days once the compressive strength is verified, and if it is within the specified range, so it can be transported to the site. Otherwise, the 28 days of the design strength to be followed. So this is our end of session today, and hopefully I request you to like, share, and press the bell icon for this video in order to share everybody. And I hope everybody will like it. And thank you very much and have a nice day. We will see in next video by Precast of concrete. Thank you.